Hi, this is Chris. I hope you had a wonderful holiday, and I wish you a most creative 2022. I thought today I'd just do a little wrap-up of some of the things that I have done in 2021. And I think I will start with the 52 tags, the final 4 tags of the 52 tags. Then I will go through the second half of the collage art glue book. I did the first 16 pages on a previous video. And then I will go through my December daily gratitude journal. I will do a flip through. So I'll get my tags out and we'll go from there. Tag 49 was a memory. And because this was the week of December 7th, I was remembering my uncle. Here's a picture of my uncle and my mother, sister and brother. And he joined the Navy when he was underage. He lied about his age because he wanted to go into the Navy. He'd had a lot of experience around the sea and with the Seabees, and he and his father had built a small boat. And so after he graduated school, his class was shipped to Pearl Harbor. This was in 1941. His class was split up with by the alphabet, like classes often are. So A through M and N through Z. And because his last name starts with M, he was often next to his good friend whose last name started with N. So the class was split right between them, and he and his half of the class went to the Whitney, and his friend and the other half of the class went to the Arizona. So when Pearl Harbor was bombed, there was a lot of chaos going on, and one of the officers on board asked for volunteers who could run a small boat. And my uncle could run a small boat, as he'd had, I said earlier, had been in the Seabees, and he built a boat with his father. So he went out in a small boat and helped to rescue the wounded and pull up the dead. And he was only 17 years old. So I always remember him on December 7th, and what a hero he was for such a young man. And he lived to be 80. He lived to, after World War II, he went and served in the Korean War. And then when he was finished with that, he became a patrolman in the Los Angeles Police Department in the San Pedro Division. And when he retired from that, he became a yacht captain. And he would captain private yachts to Mexico and even across the Pacific to Hawaii and Taiwan. So he was a true sailor. So I put in this netting here that's like a fish netting. And then this is actually a piece of a stencil that I cut up. I had 3 of them, so I didn't need 3. But it had these waves on it, so I put that on there. And then the seashells for the sea. And on this particular occasion, my mother dressed up as a sailor too. I thought that was a really cute picture. That's number 49. Probably the most story of any of my tags. Number 50 was 3 circles. So I did this on a piece of the old quilt that I've been using on several of my tags, and I just cut circles. I wanted to use the colors of like a cobalt blue and gold is one of my favorite color combinations. So I stitched this down with a Pekingese stitch, pistol stitch, French knots, some lazy daisy stitch, some blanket stitch. This particular button had holes all the way around it for whatever reason, I don't know. So I stitched through those holes. This is a 25 oar from Denmark, from my trip to Denmark when I visited my father's cousins. So that's number 50. Number 51 was a wreath. This one was really hard because I got the stitches so thick that I was having trouble getting through the denseness of the stitches, but I wanted it to have a lot of dimension. I wanted it to to be very three-dimensional. And this is just a piece of embossed fabric. It came that way, and I blanket stitched around the edge. And this little ruffle is actually the elastic casing off a fitted sheet. I took a cotton fitted sheet and I tore it up for another project, and I saved the elastic casing. It makes this really pretty little ruffle on the side. So here I have feather stitch and fly stitch and French knots and the dreaded bullion stitch. I have some tiny ones up in here, and then I have some thicker ones up in here, and then I also have some sequins from my grandma's lace box. So the last one, number 52, was macrame. I'm not sure if it was macrame a tree or macrame anything you wanted, but Anne's example was a macrame tree. I'll move this into a little bit better light. So I made a tall, like a lodgepole pine. That's what grows in my area. Lodgepole and ponderosa pines grow in my area. And then I had this fabric that's like a starry night. It has stars and a little bit of glitter on it. And this was a button. It was a color I didn't like, so I put gesso on it, and then I painted it with gold paint. And so that's my macrame tree, number 52. So here's the last 4 tags for the year. It was such a great challenge. I loved every minute of it. Although sometimes it was kind of frustrating if I was having trouble with a stitch or coming up with a design. But it really stretches your creativity to do a challenge. It gives you new things to try and new ways to do things, and that you can add to your list of experience. I'll put these away, and next I will show you the box that I keep them in. I've been showing the progress of that through the year. I think I started it about 6 months ago. So here's the box that I made. And in my past 52 tag videos, I show how I made it. I didn't use a pattern. I just constructed it the size that I wanted and worked with each piece. So I made ribbon handles, and that comes off like this. And this ribbon is sewn on so it doesn't get lost. It has a two-way 40-inch zipper. I can zip it here, I can zip it here. I can zip it off, although I put a little cover over that part of the zipper. If I decide I want to zip it off, I could rearrange that. So it opens like this. Inside is a tea towel I embroidered for my first apartment but never used because I didn't want it to get stained. And I quilted that onto another blank plain tea towel, and I hand quilted it and tufted it with embroidery flosses to match the little mushroom embroidery. So this is the inside. And here are my tags. And I'll put my last ones on here. But since I've made this, I've decided that I don't think I want to store my tags this way. I think I'd rather put them in some sort of a book so they'd be easier to look at. And I was thinking, well, I've made this basket. What can I do with it? I can easily make this into a stitchery basket. I could add little pockets around the side to hold my threads and flosses. I could put in a little pin cushion, built-in pin cushion. I could put in some little storage bags to hold laces and trims and different things. So I can continue working on this and give it a new life, and then make a book for these to go into so they can be appreciated easier. I'll put some stills up of all the tags laying out on my kitchen table, and you can see it's amazing how many we got done over the year. I'm looking forward to the next project. To continue my 2021 wrap-up, I'm going to go through the Collage Art Glue Book Vintage Christmas Edition by Margaret Miller. I've already done a flip through of the first 16 pages earlier. I can put a link to that video. So we ended here. The next 17 was a prompt. Do you like snow? Do you imagine Christmas with or without snow? Collage with your ideal weather. This is from a digital paper kit. I can put the name below. It's a beautiful winter kit. Has this cabin. It has quite a bit of wildlife and snowy scenes. It's really pretty. And this is what I imagine a beautiful winter scene would be like. I would like to spend some time in that cabin with a snowy day like this. I did get to spend some time in a cabin at Lake Tahoe once, one February. It didn't snow quite this much, but it did snow and it was beautiful. However, a couple of days is enough for me. Then I want my sunshine back. We did have a white Christmas this year. We had about 6 inches. December 18th was a list of collage prompts. Christmas stockings. So these that I got from a digital. A candy wrapper. These Hershey Nuggets Kisses that I like to get at Christmas time. Something that clicks. Well, I had a hard time thinking about something that clicks, and then I remembered, well, typewriters, they click. So I got this, it's a digital of an advertisement, of a vintage advertisement of a typewriter. This was pretty expensive, $44 way back then. I think that was kind of expensive. Text in a foreign language. I have some Russian text here. In fact, I'm going to go get the book that I use this from. I think you might be interested in this. This is the book that I found on Amazon. I wanted a book that had, is it called the Cyrillic alphabet? The Russian alphabet? And I wanted to be sure it was a book that didn't have any words in it that I wouldn't want exposed to the public. And so I found this Russian Fairy Tales, a bilingual book in Russian and English. By Svetlana Begdacerin. I probably butchered that. So in the book it has 5 fairy tales, and I'm going to read them before I tear out any pages. So I've already read Jack Frost. Has the Frog Princess, Valissa and Baba Yaga, the 12 Months, and Smart Daughter. There's the Russian names here. So each page is Russian on one side and English, corresponding English on the other side. I've already torn out a page here and used it. So this would be great to use in collage because you know there's going to be nothing bad in the words. And you can read some Russian fairy tales while you're at it. You can tear them out and tea dye them, use them in collage, use them in junk journal pages. all kinds of things. So I found that on Amazon. I'll put a link so you can find it. It's published in 2017. So that's, I used that a few times in this book with the Cyrillic language. Something gray, this little bird also came from this digital download. And he's gray, and he's looking over his shoulder wondering what all this mess is, because this was a difficult collage for me. It just kind of didn't come together. Bonus is a holiday rubber stamping. So this is a holiday rubber stamp that I colored in with color pencil. December 19th, collage assignment, A Christmas Carol. I have this digital that's called a children's carol. Holiday baking. This is a vintage illustration from a children's book. And notice right here there's a little garden fairy sitting in an eggshell cup. I thought that was so cute. And then a reproduction of a vintage illustration of Christmas cookies. A game piece cut out from a magazine, torn out from a magazine. Brown piece of paper. This is just shopping bag paper. Something that flies. I put in this little butterfly right here. And the bonus is something silver, so I put in this candy wrapper down here. And then I outlined everything in a brown watercolor pencil and used my water pen to blend it in. So December 20th was a prompt. Think back to your 10-year-old self. What would you have loved to receive? If you can find an image, place it here. If not, describe it. Well, I found this adorable image. She's a lot younger than 10 years old, but I still would have liked to have a doll when I was 10. And I always liked getting a stocking, so I added that. And I think she's so cute. I put a tea-dyed doily behind it, and again I used the brown watercolor pencil and water brush. I had difficulty with this one. I'm not real happy with it. Collage assignment, holiday lights. So I just put the lights that are on a tree. A gift tag. So here's a tag from last year from my cousin. Sheet music. Piece of vintage sheet music. A flower or a plant. I have a bit of an olive leaf in the background here, and then there's also some flowers on the gift tag. A sequence of numbers. So here's 6, 7, 8, 9 from Tim Holtz paper. And the bonus is textured paper. So here I have some Braille paper that I highlighted the points on the Braille paper, the dots. Number 22. Do you like Christmas carols? What kind of Christmas music do you like? Create a collage with music as your theme. So this is from a digital, 2 different digitals. Silent Night, Holy Night, that's one of my favorite Christmas carols. And then the other digital had these angels, and he's playing a trumpet, and he has a lute or some little stringed instrument there. So very simple. December 23rd collage assignment. Something found on a mantle. I put this clock. A gingerbread man. Here he's from a paper pack, cut out from a paper pack. Something out of the recycle bin. This packaging, which I literally took out of my trash can and pulled off the plastic bubble protector that was on it. Something with lines. This is a portion of a vintage greeting card that has lines on it. And a playing card. This is the back of the playing card with a little character on it. And the bonus is an art scrap. So this is a digital from Gail Augustinelli's Jelly Prints. And because I was using this masculine sort of greeting card that I found, I tried to pick items that had a little more masculine feel to them. December 24th, do you read any Christmas stories like A Christmas Carol or The Night Before Christmas? Find an image that represents the kind of stories you like. So I had just watched a vintage movie of The Christmas Carol. I read it when I was a child. Not a child, a teenager, I think. But I had just seen the movie, and I really liked it. So to find images, I went to some royalty-free sites and found some public domain images of the title page of the book and some of the illustrations from the book, and then I found the figgy pudding. Merry Christmas! Have you opened your presents yet? Paste some wrapping paper, gift tags, ribbon, or whatever else came on a present. I got a present with this really cute wrapping paper that had vintage trucks all decorated with a wreath and presents, and the old buildings and the Christmas trees and the home for the holidays, and here's a covered bridge. And then I added a gift tag here and some ribbon here and here and here, and then some more gift tags here, and this really pretty gift tag there. I made a memory page out of that. December 26th, collage assignments. A snowman. This is a snowman cut out from the newspaper puzzle page. Ornaments. These are from a digital download. Any kind of tag. This is a price tag. It was pink. I thought it went pretty with these pretty pink ornaments. A tool. So I cut this from a catalog. It's a multi-tool has all kinds of things that come out of it. And I put the snowman on it because it looks like he's snowboarding on this thing. A recipe or portion. So here's a piece of recipe in the back from a cookbook. And the bonus is a crossword or a newspaper magazine puzzle. So another, this one is a crossword from another magazine. December 27th, collage assignment. A tree. Well, we'd already put in a lot of Christmas trees, so I put in, I think it's a kumquat tree, some kind of citrus tree. Here. A symbol from a keyboard. I put this giant ampersand. It's actually a stick-on vinyl letter. I don't know where I got it. I think it came as a thank you, part of a thank you in a Etsy order. Something shaped like an oval. I had this punch-out oval, and I've had it for years. I think it was in my mother's collection of scrapbooking supplies, and I never really had a use for it. And I thought, well, there's a use for that now. A name. I cut out Marguerite Miller's name and pasted it there. Thank you, Marguerite, for this wonderful experience. Portion of a coloring book. So here's a coloring book in the background that I colored in with colored pencils. And bonus and illustration. So I cut out this illustration from a scrap paper pack that has mistletoe and holly berries on it. 28, this is probably my favorite page. Do you have a photo of a Christmas past that you cherish? Include it here along with a caption to document the exact moment and the people participating. So this was Christmas Eve when I was about 4 years old. And my father came to the front door dressed as Santa Claus, and he came in, and I said, "That's not Santa, that's my daddy." And the thing is that my brother, who's older than I am, when he was about 4 years old, my parents told him that Santa was a myth because they didn't want him to be heartbroken when he found out the truth. But he didn't believe him. He believed in Santa Claus. So then when I was 4 years old, they decided to tell me there was really a Santa Claus. But I didn't believe them. I knew it was my daddy. So that's a fun memory. I printed this out on Epson presentation paper. I tore it. I put it on, backed it with a piece of white, I think it's a light cardstock, so that it looks somewhat like a Polaroid. And then these vintage photo corners from the 70s, I pulled a bunch of these out of one of my mom's photo albums. It was a trip she took someplace that I didn't go, and I wasn't really that interested in the pictures, but I was interested in the photo corners. So I pulled those out of there. Okay, we keep going. December 29th, collage assignment. Red fruit or berries. So here's the holly berries wrapped around some bells. Fiber, yarn, or string. I got this little bit of fiber in an Etsy thank you gift, and I stuck that in there because I really like the color. A time or date. So this is copied from my grandmother's date book, December 1915, which I put a label around it. A business card, my business card, of course, who else's? Any kind of bug or insect. And a bonus, a stapled piece of paper. So I stapled the label onto these pieces of torn paper. And again, the color pencil shading. 30. Collage assignment. Something in a foreign language, more of the Russian paper. A leaf or leaves. This is an original eco print of strawberry leaves that I made last summer. And I fussy cut it. Holiday washi tape, which I added here. Something ornate. This sleigh is very ornate here. Something with legs. Well, the original image came with this fox with legs, but I also put on this bee with legs. And bonus architecture, a little piece from a children's book illustration that shows a castle, some castle architecture. 2 more to go. December 31st, it's New Year's Eve. Create a collage with elements that symbolize the end of the year and start of a new one. So I went with classic images. This Saturday Evening Post from 1910 shows Father Time and the baby New Year. And here we have a Victorian image, Father Time and the baby New Year. And then from the Russian English fairy tale book, I tore out a piece that has Jack Frost on there. And I included some Chinese lettering. January 1st. The new year is here. Do you have any goals you'd like to accomplish? Would you like to learn a new skill, plan a trip somewhere, or adopt a healthy habit? Collage or write about your intentions here. Well, I thought intentions are good, but it would be good also to show what I accomplished in 2021. So for 2021, I put here in a very formal way, done. And so those are like checked off in a list. And then over here, sort of more random, because I don't know when I will accomplish them, but I will certainly try to. And so that's my art glue book, vintage Christmas edition, complete and done. And quite a nice little memory. I've been going through and journaling on some of the pages before I forget what everything is about. And that's been fun too. So I need to catch up on that with a little bit of journaling. Sometimes I just talk about the process and sometimes I talk about the memory. Next on my 2021 wrap-up is my December daily / gratitude journal. I did another video earlier showing 2020 and the start of 2021. Originally, I made this book with 3 signatures, hoping that it would last 3 years, but it's so full now that I decided to take out the 3rd signature. So here's the 3rd signature for 2022, and I will just make a separate book for that. I cut the sewing threads and I glued them down so that I kept the 3 threads on the back. So now it's a nice chunky. It's not a too much chunky. It would never have worked out for next year. So it started in 2020. And basically, I did little pockets and I wrote something about the day. And then for each page, I had a little gratitude tag. And I would write something that I was grateful for that day. Sometimes I would put in a picture. I put here the month of December for 2020. And sometimes I put a picture. Did some gratitude writing about my cat. He's such a pal. And on a page where there wasn't a place to write, I did a tag and I wrote that day and stuck it in a fold-over pocket. This has a fold-over or a piece glued as a flip, so I can add things in there and write on this. And that goes in there. And a tuck spot. So it just goes through each day of December, telling about my day and what I'm grateful for. I also have some gratitude quotes. So here's the belly band and tucked in here. Here's a belly band this way, tucked in there. I put this little piece on here to keep this from sliding all the way out. It gets caught on there and it won't fall out of the book. And some things I left them as like a tab. I decorated the little tags. And this is the last page, and then 2021. And so I left this page open to put in some Christmas cards or Christmas letters. There's a pocket here and a pocket here, and then here's a little corner tuck with a little grateful tag, and more pockets and another journaling card. I'll put a list of the different paper packs I used. This one I think is no longer available. The other one is Stamperia, which I believe is Vintage Christmas, which I believe is still available. Here's another picture, again, of my uncle, the sailor, because this was Pearl Harbor Day. And here I had two small pages that I put in the book, and so I glued it here and glued it here and made a pocket out of that. And here's just a little pocket here. I tried to rotate where I pasted things so that this side wouldn't get too full. And then I decided it was getting too full, so I just started pasting my gratitude tags on flat and not putting them on a card. Some I still put on a card. This is a very thin card. It just has something printed on the back. It's regular paper. So I continued doing that. Once in a while I put in a pocket and a tag. Here's the other side of that one where I have the two half pages glued here and here, and make a pocket out of it. And then here's Christmas Day. I was pasting in each day and I accidentally missed a page, so I'm going to use this to paste a Christmas card or a photograph on that somebody sent me. And then a little tuck spot there. And then on 2021 I put accomplishments and highlights, and I listed different things I did during the year that I'm happy that I was able to get them done, and then some highlights of the year. And then I have more pages that I can glue some photos on if I want. In my previous video I explained how this is made from a paper sack, just like a gift bag, a paper gift bag. And so it opens out like this. At the front it opens here. This is where the bag would open, and the gussets would be here. I have a video that shows the method I use for making this kind of journal cover from a paper bag. I make one from a grocery bag and then this one from a smaller bag. So that's my wrap-up of my December daily and my gratitude journal. So 2022, what will we do in 2022? I purchased Margaret Miller's Collage Weekly Planner with Collage Art Assignments Volume 2. I'm going to use this as my creative planner. I've already started. I changed the days of the weeks here to week 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 so I can plan out what I'm going to do each month through the year. The rest of the days will be a planner day. But I'm just using the first one to plan out the year. So I'm going to continue with my stitchery videos on the first week of the month. I will be doing the 52 flags handmade with Anne Brooke. The second week I'll be working on this planner. I will show what I did the previous weeks, and I may record one actual collage. And then the third week of each month I will be doing watercolor. What I want to do for watercolor this year, one of the things I want to accomplish, so I want to take this watercolor journal, travel journal that I made many years ago. It's the first watercolor I did. And it was a trip in California to Mammoth Lakes and Owens Valley. There aren't very many pages. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pages, sides of paintings. So what I did was I purchased the same thing. This is the same Strathmore 300 series watercolor, 9 by 12, 12 sheets. It comes 2 in a pack. So I'm going to work on that this year, and when I finish that, which I don't know how long it'll take because I have so many other things I'm involved in, I have some other later watercolor journals that have empty pages at the back. They're not completely full, and I would like to add paintings to the backs of those. So that will be the third week of the month. Then on the fourth week of the month, I plan to continue bookbinding, junk journal making, and altered books. Some of the things I made last year, if you saw my video, was this hardcover junk journal. So I may make more of those. I'm not really sure yet what I will do. I made this Steampunk Journal. It's also a folio. I made these little note folios. So they have a scrap paper on them like this and a little pocket in the front. So those are the kinds of things that I like to make. I didn't make any altered books last year, but I've made them before. I might make an altered book in 2022. I also make hand-bound art books for watercolor painting or other drawing, other media. This is a Japanese kimono fabric. Here's a smaller one. So that's what I would like to do also. And then if the month has a week 5, it's going to be potluck. If I have something that needs a second part to it, part 2, then I will arrange that goes on one of those months. So that's my wrap up for 2021. I really appreciate you watching, and I wish you the best in 2022, a very creative year for you, and come back again and we'll share ideas. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.